Today, we're doing a DIY high battery mount.
Driftwitness.
Should be pretty simple. All we're doing is we have to create a tray. We have to create a tray to sit on top of the battery mount right here. If you can see that, see the battery mount? So this battery mount actually has a post right here and it's threaded on the top. So what I did was I removed the M3 screw from the top. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use these standoffs. You see we have all these standoffs here. We have these random screws. This is kind of the stuff, this is the stuff that we're gonna use. So we're gonna use some standoffs, old battery mounts that I had from another car that I built a long time ago from an MC1. See that? And it has a little hole in there. So we're gonna use that with a screw to basically make a retainer, a hold in that we can move around if we need to. We're gonna need a few M3 random screws, ball cups. Basically these the ball cups for your ball studs. So you're gonna have to use a certain size. I'm gonna end up using probably about 4 of them and then the 2 retainers. So if you look at them, if you see how they are, it's kind of hard to see with the car in the back. Let me move the car out of the way so you can kind of use the background. There you go. So what you're gonna do is to find the right size that's gonna work for you, but you're gonna have these screws that are gonna go through here, but you gotta make sure that they don't pull out, you know. So we have 4 of those, 4 ball cups. This is a recycled rear sus mount setup that comes with the RDX. So if you have RDX and you've already upgraded to like maybe metal sus mounts or the Rev D sus mounts or any other ones with the high traction lower arms, you probably have this laying around. You can DIY something. I mean, that's what I really like about the hobby, is that you can create something with stuff that you have. You don't have to necessarily go out buy an expensive carbon fiber battery mount tray for the high mount. You could if you wanted to, but this video is more for the people that's into the hobby, that maybe like you're younger, or maybe you just don't want to spend a lot of money on the hobby. Like the reason I bought this RDX was because it was a low price point. It was only like $300 or something for the whole kit. It was a plastic fantastic, and then I liked the way it drove, so I wanted to upgrade it because I actually enjoyed the chassis. And then I ended up upgrading to this carbon fiber deck that I got from the homie Grant through the Facebook group. It's the AFJ conversion, and it's actually like number 47. So left over, I got this extra sus mount, the rear sus mount, which actually have your plastic arms go here from the RDX. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and use this. We're not gonna try, we are, see, right? Like, speak positive things to yourself. Don't speak negative things like, oh, I can't do it, I won't do it. Be like, I'm gonna do it, and then figure it out. You know what I mean? With God helping, you can do anything. You feel me? So we're gonna use this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull those screws out of this. We're actually gonna make a battery tray with it. Now, these standoffs, you could buy these on Amazon for like 10-12 bucks, I think. You don't have to have these standoffs. You could use something else, long M3 screws or whatever. And we need the elevation of the battery to be up here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some of these standoffs together. Yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do is put these together to make basically the tall standoff that the battery is gonna sit on. Make sure these end up being the same size, and they are. Here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Right in here, that's where I took the screw out. So there was like a short M3 screw that was holding the battery mount in. So because I'm going to relocate it, you can see I've already did the pre-wiring of moving. My electronics used to be up here in the front, and what I did was I moved my receiver back out of the way, and on the other side, my gyro, my V4 gyro right there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna try to get these standoffs in here if we can get this thing threaded. Okay, get those started. We need them to like clear. So I think that if you see, I drilled some holes in here. I kind of like, what I did was I kind of prefabbed some of this, but I'm redoing the build just so I could show you guys how I got through the process, right? So let me get this one started. It's a little snug. Okay. Now we got that standoff in, and then you could tighten them down with your, if you have the Tamiya. You probably have one of these from putting one or more sets together. There's definitely one that came with the RDX. I don't know if it was the same like the Tamiyas. There we go. Okay, now we tightened up. Okay, so our battery tray is gonna sit on here. You can see where I drilled out these 2 holes See those? So this is the stock mounting holes that was there. These two holes I drilled basically right in the center of those two, in that little valley right there. If you can see that little valley, basically dead center in those two little valleys is where I put the holes. There's a hole on this side too. Now the way I got these holes to line up with our standoffs was that I took a piece of tape. I installed these. I took a piece of tape and then I poked a hole. I laid the tape on there and I poked the hole. I basically kind of hold it past it so that the measurement doesn't get off. And then I poked a hole in the top here and a hole in the top here with like a pen or something like that. So then that way, when you take the tape off, you have the same measurement. And then you can lay it down on top of your piece. Try to center it as much as you can. Lay the tape across your piece and then you can start. I started with a smaller drill bit. Start with a small drill bit, and I think I went a little bit past 1/8, so it's not threaded or nothing. It just goes. It's just basically a hole in the thing just to mount it. Do that before I mount that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the battery fitted for the tray. So take the last two standoffs that we had. I don't remember exact size, and then you're gonna screw them in there. This is gonna vary depending on your battery size. Really snug, so you might have to move some stuff around just to get it to fit. You know what I mean? So it's all about adapting, bro. If it doesn't fit, figure out why and figure out how we can make it fit. You know what I mean? And you just try to figure it out. Just take a step back sometimes, take a break from what you're doing, give it 5-10 minutes, get you something to eat, get you something to drink, and then come back to the project. Man, you'd be surprised. That little break and stepping away actually helps. So if you can see, let's see. Okay, if you can see that, it's barely sticking out on the side. See that? So it's barely sticking out on the side. See that on each side? These retainers, we're gonna use these. Now you could use anything as long as it's able to run a screw through it and it's long like this on one side. So you're basically gonna screw that in and that's gonna be one of our holders. What we need to do is we need to figure out, now this is almost the exact size if you look at it. If you look at it this way, the width of it is almost the exact size of the battery. If I can pull that back enough to see. So it's almost the exact size. So my plan is to just remove these screws, put a little bit longer screws on the side with the ball cups that we used. And those are gonna turn into our basically mini feet to keep it from wiggling around. Okay, see that? This is now our battery tray starting to come together. Okay, so let's test fit our battery. Our battery's in there pretty snug. It's not gonna move around too much. Just a little bit. Not too much. Once we put the sides on, I think we'll be okay. Now those are holding our battery in. Just like that. Has a little bit of play. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna twist these down and pull them and basically see how they're a little angled in now that I twisted them down. See that? Now they're at an angle. And then now it's not moving. It's snug in there. It's awesome. So that worked out great. Did not expect that. Hope you guys can see that pretty good. So these two are gonna be our mounting points. This and this is gonna be our mounting points. You might have to squeeze them in just a little bit if you don't get your measurement accurate. I got mine pretty close, but not perfect. I am human, y'all. Okay, so as you see, like, that's not long enough. So look at the, if you can see, my screw is not even coming through the bottom. So that's not gonna work. Coming out the bottom, that's good. That's all we need, because these are kind of shallow. So as long as we can get them through, and get them snug down tight, we'll be straight. Okay, so if you can see those, see that screw? The screw's coming out the bottom. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Now I want it to be towards the back, so I'm gonna turn it around so the front side is mounted and the battery's basically over where the motor is. So now the motor is in the middle, and normally your battery is on the bottom here. So now we're flipping the battery to up here. So all your weight is going to be in the middle to the top side of the chassis, causing your chassis to turn and roll a little bit better, putting pressure on the outside wheel, and then should help with catching the drift. Also, like getting on the throttle as soon as you catch the drift, being able to like push through the turn. We're gonna see how it is when we do actually end up testing it. I'll try to get you guys a better view. It's kind of hard because it's a tight spot. So see, this one's a little bit off. Gonna have to push this one in a little bit and pull the other one over to line my screws up. Bam. So it's putting a little bit of, oh, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Okay, there we go. We got it started. No. Okay, there we go. Now we're in. Okay. So once you get them started, snug them all the way down tight. Both sides. Okay, so now if you have the shroud on your fan, you're gonna have to take it off. I used to have like the bullhorn looking shroud, but I took that off. So even though it sticks up a little bit right here, if you can see that sticks up a little bit right here, it's below the battery, so it's fine. It's below where the resting point is, so it's fine. Now we have our battery tray. Our battery tray is locked and loaded. Bam, we're in there, yeah? So the thing is this, now I have these two tall, do not cross those with the thing like that. You're gonna spark it up and wake yourself up. My body is not able to sit all the way down. You can see that, right? Because of those battery terminals. So those battery terminals are causing a crazy wheel gap. The way that I fixed that is I flipped the battery over. That's all I did. So let's take this off. So that's why I don't have any posts right here, because I'm actually gonna post the body to the battery. So we're gonna disconnect this for now. If you're not sure of the connection, you can plug it in before you put it back down. You can plug it in red to red, right? That's why I mark these. Every time I get batteries, I mark them with a little red paint marker, a red acrylic paint marker, just so that at a glance, you know what's positive and negative, and you don't cross thread them, blow your ESC, burn your motors, or desolder these wires, because it only takes a second. It heats up so quick, it just desolders the wires. That's crazy. I remember one time I did that at the track. I crossed polarities at the track and basically melted my power wires off, and then couldn't drift for the rest of the night. It was horrible. Now that the battery's flipped, I can plug them in before, right? Plug them in before, and then put them in the battery tray. Now the battery's flat, and I'm actually, if you can see, I put Velcro here. So the Velcro is what's gonna hold the top of the body, and I have Velcro on the front and Velcro on the back. I like Velcro. I'm probably gonna go back to magnet mounts just for the ease of taking them on and off, taking the body on and off. But the thing that's good about the Velcro is that the Velcro can sustain like pretty mean hits, and the body will just move, and the Velcro will just give a little. You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily pop your body off just because you like scrape the wall, tap the wall, or maybe like came a little too close to somebody. So that's why the Velcro. The Velcro is actually like kind of fire. It's all preference though. But now that I got that on, check the body though. Check the fitment on the skidment. If you look, if you see, I have underneath here where I put the Velcro. So the way to line this up, you put the Velcro here, put the other, take it on and off a few times before you attach it, so that the Velcro gets weaker, because you don't want it to be super strong. It's gonna peel itself right off. So anyway, I put that on here and I left the sticky side on, and then I just lined it up and then removed it later. So now that I'm riding, right? Now that I'm riding on the what's it called? You can see my fitment is fire. You see what I'm saying? So now my rear fitment is how it should be, styled out, you feel me? So now you can see like how my fitment is in the back. You know what I mean? And the other side is basically the same. Let me get one of these. These are the like yellow, these come in so handy. These are like the yellow rubber bands from the rubber band guns that you get at like your local like hobby store. Let me get a freshie though. I'm gonna wrap a rubber band around this and over the battery and onto the other side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come under here, wrap the battery with those, take it over to the other side, put them in the same spot, and basically keep my battery from pulling out now. So now my battery is good, it's in there. So high battery mount, y'all, that's it. Pretty simple, easy to do. I think that you can do it with probably spare parts that you have laying around the house. You could fabricate something. All you need is the tray, retainers on the side of the tray coming up for the battery, around the size of the battery, and then on the other side, because your car's going to be swinging back and forth this way, right? So you see that now? See how much when I push the top, you see that it's not just sliding, it's actually leaning into the turn. So when you're driving, the concept is that you're going to drift, you're going to swing, drift, and as you drift, you put that pressure on the outside tire. So that's causing friction, and friction equals grip. So you're able to really get on the throttle and increase your speed as you squat into that direction as you're driving. So as you're going, you run, you flick it, boom, you squatting this whole, putting all this weight that's normally sliding sideways, you're rolling it down over the wheel. So instead of it sliding this way, you're rolling it, actually rolling the car more over onto the outside wheel. We're gonna see how good it is. I'm gonna insert some clips here. And I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the content of the DIY thing. Drop it in the comments below. What was your favorite part of the video? What did you not like about the video? One thing that I want every one of you to do is to just chop the video to death. Tell me everything that was wrong with the video in the comments below. If you felt that there were some dope things that you learned in the video, drop those in the comments also. I'm gonna do videos basically on the RDX, but this kind of applies to all cars. You just have to figure out how it manipulates and affects your car. So every car is going to respond different to settings. However, I'm going to try it out with the springs that I already had, which are like basic standard size springs. Basic standard size springs. My oil in the back is a little heavy, so it's helping the spring actually, because in my back I think I'm probably about 350, 330, 350 with the weight of the oil in the back. So that I think is really gonna help with the fact that, like, if you see my car wants to just come up and sit, it goes down and up and sit. Like if you let it go, it sits, it doesn't bounce. When I drop it, it bounces and it stops. That's exactly how I want it. I want it to be able to catch the weight without the car bottoming without hitting the floor, and bringing it back up, so that I know, like, when I squat it, when I send it in a corner, it's gonna come back. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the video. Shoots. Watch the next video over here, over there. Okay, shoot.